You're watching the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies.
So once again, we want to welcome you to the second match of today's card. And this time, the Philadelphians have won the toss. They've elected to bat. And they take on the New England Eagles. Both teams beginning their campaign today. And we are all set for another exciting T20 game in this year's minor league series. So the news, as we made mention, Philadelphians, they have won the toss. They've elected to bat game number 3 on this pitch this weekend. As usual, I'm joined with Matthew Achaibara. Matthew, looking forward for another Philadelphians and New England clash. And the second time we are seeing teams winning the toss, electing to bat, and probably all the mystery of what has happened here at Mercer County Park has been dealt with, and teams are a little bit more confident to come out and give them all their worth. Welcome to the Philadelphians game.
Yeah, we saw the New Jersey Stallions apply a similar strategy to win the toss, to bat first. As we see the Philadelphians doing the same, led by Ryan Scott and Christopher Vantol right at the top of the order. The likes of Jonathan Fu, the captain, Bhaskar Yadram, new to the side, as is Ash Arora. Some young faces in this side as well, the likes of Yashwan Balaji, Nitish Mahesh, Varun Manta, Ashish Vatem, a newcomer as well. And then Abdul Jabbar and Deveshwari Prasad, who have been around the franchise for a while. The New England Eagles, Apurva Maheshram, Pranav Rao, some youngsters in the side. Usman Ashraf, USA national player in the past. Noman Iftikhar as well. The captain, Nikhil Malapalli. Samar Tiwari, another young face. Vandit Prajapati, Derek Narain, 2 huge additions to the New England Eagles for this year. And then Rizwan Mazar, Burhan Saeed also have been around for some time. And Talha Mumtaz, a new face for the Eagles.
So it looks like Vantol and Ryan Scott are out in the middle. They will start. Vantol, it appears, will be on strike, and Burhan Saeed has been given the ball. So we'll just about a minute or so. The umpires are Deepak Kate and Brian Kane. Brian Kane from the earlier game, he has stayed back. And now he's joined by Deepak Kate. So quality umpires as usual as we get ready for a start with the news, as we made mention a couple of times already. The Philadelphians have trusted their batting lineup to really come and bat first. And Burhan Saeed, who's been around minor league for some time, Matt, you've seen him so many times. What can we expect from Burhan Saeed?
Yeah, Burhan Saeed, very experienced around the local scene across the Northeast, has spent quite a bit of time now on the minor league circuit. Can certainly expect for him to test the amount of movement here. We'll see early on. We'll get a good indication of how much is left for today.
So he gets a good in-swinger in cutter. And Christopher Vantol does well to keep it out. You've seen Christopher Vantol in the past. Both batters out in the middle, both Ryan Scott and Christopher Vantol, they're typically stroke makers. The surface here is gonna be one with challenge to any batter who thinks or who's still wanna come and play a couple of shots, but you never know. Cut away into the offside, and Vantol, quality batter, will be the keeper for the side, and he's off and running. And the Philadelphians, they're off. They're 1 for no loss.
Yeah, Christopher Vantol and Ryan Scott, you mentioned the potential to be a really explosive opening pair. We'll have to see how they adjust to the conditions here at Mercer County, of course. And they will be tested early on. Couple of good new ball bowlers in this New England Eagles lineup, likes of Burhan Saeed. I'm sure we might see Noman Iftikhar sooner than later. That could give Ryan Scott and Christopher Vantol a challenge on any surface, let alone this one. But we did see Ryan Scott would have played last season. I believe would have gotten a half century on this same venue. So clearly a man whose approach doesn't seem to change, doesn't matter which part of the country he is. Ryan Scott, we know, is a very dangerous opener.
So Ryan Scott, he's been such a prolific scorer in minor league cricket. Might have been 2022, Matt, 2021. A couple of centuries, back-to-back big scores. When he was playing in the, what division, Central? Might have been the Chicago area, but we'll talk about that. Here is Burhan Saeed. And straight away, Ryan Scott goes big. Straight down the ground. Samar Tiwari does well to keep the ball. Oh, chance of a direct throw would have been very critical. But the fact is, Ryan Scott, he's back for 2 runs.
And down the ground right away, some intent from Ryan Scott. Left-hander to left-hander. Saeed to Scott. Samar Tiwari ran past it a bit, did well to correct himself and then fire. Very close throw. Would have certainly had Van Tol scampering.
So not a bad start here from the Philadelphians, choosing to bat first. Very experienced side, saw them in the Super 8 last year. And always have put together a good squad, originally out of the Exton Park area from Philadelphia. Now we'll have to contend with games played at Mercer County and Glenville, upstate New York. A lot of chatter going on, and they know the importance of Ryan Scott's wicket, Matt, if they can get him early. And on the other hand, the Philadelphia knows that Ryan Scott is a key man in their batting arsenal. And how well he does will dictate how the Philadelphians go in the season. And look at that, massive pull through the onside, looking for runs here again. Fielder does well to keep the ball in play, but couple of runs again to Ryan Scott. He's been fluent.
Yeah, certainly looking to unsettle Burhan Saeed here, taking him on. Hasn't just had enough to get it away to the fence, but he's certainly been productive enough. Solid start this for the Philadelphians. Ryan Scott playing his shots has come off good enough off the bat, even though they haven't raced away to the boundary.
So we've seen 5 in the over so far. And from the look of things on this ground, you've got to consider that a very good start. Runs not easy to come. It's up in the air. The fielder runs back, number 19, just trying to get hands onto the ball. In the end, it's a 4 to Ryan Scott. He goes up to 8. It's 9 for no loss.
Teasing one in the air for the fielder. Running back, always looking over his shoulder. And then right at the end, just out of reach, and he couldn't even pull it back for 4. So Ryan Scott going down the ground, up in the air. That's how he plays. And he gets a boundary. So 9 for none. It's a very good start this for the Philadelphians.
So it looks like Noman Iftikhar, as expected, Matt, has been given the ball. New ball bowler generally. And you get the feeling that he bowls with some bit of swing, and you want him to get his over out early when the ball is new, which allows a little bit more swing at the top of the order. So he has been given the ball along with Burhan Saeed. Will come into bowl to the attacking Christopher Van Tol. Very tall man. We talked about tall men in yesterday's game when we saw Najaf Shaw. Here's another tall player. And the fact is, Matt, you look at Van Tol, he's the keeper. You rarely see tall keepers like Van Tol.
Yeah, it is quite the rarity. Christopher Van Tol maybe standing somewhere around 6'3", 6'4".
Oh, that's a lovely shot. No man move. He stands for the post, Christopher Van Tol, and it doesn't get better than that.
One of the shots of the day, and we're into the second game. Lovely shot this from Christopher Van Tol. Bit of a swing from Iftikhar, and a beautiful lofted cover drive off the bat of Christopher Van Tol. You mentioned how stylish he is as a keeper. He's one of the top keepers around. He's got a lot of style in his batting as well.
Yeah, he made sure that he's posed long enough. And he settles and waits for Noman Iftikhar. Slapped away into the offside. Picks up another run. Burhan Saeed is engaged. A classy looking shot from Christopher Van Tol, and doesn't get better than that. Ryan Scott comes into strike. He himself has played a couple of attacking shots. His intent is quite clear. And they're off to a good start. The Philadelphians 14 for no loss, winning the toss, electing to bat first, led by Ryan Scott this time. Saw last year they were under the leadership of Jonathan Fu. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, might have been. So Jonathan Fu is the captain. I didn't know where I picked it up that Ryan Scott is leading today, but so much information passing around. So Jonathan Fu leads the charge here for the Philadelphians. They're off to a good start. We've seen 8 balls. We've seen 4s from Ryan Scott and Christopher Van Tol. Here is Noman Iftikhar from the far end. Play in a miss, and the ball goes through to looks like Pranav Rao, and it could be a bye here, signaled by umpire Brian Kane. So Matt, we're well and truly on, and this has been a good start here from the Philadelphians, 15 for none.
Yeah, it's been a flyer from the Philadelphians. Van Tol and Ryan Scott. So much potential for this opening partnership if they can really get going. If not today, but down the line throughout the tournament. Van Tol and Ryan Scott can certainly be destructive and can certainly help the Philadelphians win games if they can get off to a solid start.
So Christopher Van Tol, and you look at Noman Iftikhar, Matt. We'll try to pick up probably in the next over if he bowls with our cameraman. When he gets to the top of his mark, he makes a full 360 and then starts his run up. We'll see if we can pick that up. And so let's follow Noman Iftikhar, the bowler. When he gets to the top of his mark, he makes a complete left turn, a U-turn, which is illegal on most roadways, by the way. But I guess he can do it here at Morsa County Park. Here we go, Noman Iftikhar. He walks, and there we go. That left turn. That's when you know as a batsman he's coming in. Will come into bowl to Van Tol. Van Tol gets a ball that he keeps the bat away from the impending edge. And that goes through to Pranav Rao. A lot of chat in the middle.
Yeah, certainly. The New England Eagles quite happy to get their campaign off and running. You can hear the enthusiasm ready to start off their 2024 minor league campaign.
Yes, Matt, there's always a lot of chatter the earlier part, but you hit them a couple of 4s and then the chatter dies down. Noman Iftikhar makes that left turn. And we're coming to bowl to Van Tol. We've seen a lovely drive from Van Tol. And there we go again, outside the off stump this time, and that will complete 2. So 2 gone. And the Philadelphians winning the toss, batting first. They're 15 for none.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
So 15 for none. 15 for none. Ryan Scott and Van Tol has come out to start for the Philadelphians. And Matt, you've got to say they've started pretty well. Oh, into the onside. Fielder comes in. Rizwan Mazar. The ball falls short. Ryan Scott. Ball hanging in the air for some time. He crosses for one.
Yeah, Ryan Scott will not stop. Will always look to go after things, offering a chance to Rizwan Mazar steaming in. Landed just in front. So Burhan Saeed will continue. Probably expect to see Burhan and Noman Iftikhar maybe go for some extended spells throughout this phase. They were a side last season also very dependent on spin in the power play. We saw the likes of Hemendra Ramdihal and Gaurav Grover operate both during the power play. Both of them are not part of the squad this year. So it'll be very interesting, very intrigued on seeing how the New England Eagles handle that. Appeals for a run-out, quick bit of fielding off his own bowling there from Burhan Saeed. And we'll see how well they are able to rebuild that spin attack.
So umpire Brian Kane walks across to do some fixing up of the bail. And Matt, if there's one thing that falls down pretty easily is the bail. Although we've seen some games at the international level where the ball will hit the stump and the bail does not come off. Into the onside, we've seen a good over, good start to the third over here from Burhan Saeed, one and a couple of dots. Van Tol and Ryan Scott. Scott has been among the runs last year, over 200 runs. He averaged about 24 and got 58 in the process. Can't say much about Christopher Van Tol, and that is because he has not been with this unit, so he's debuting for the Philadelphians, but we have seen him in other franchises, Matt.
Yeah, I would have spent 2021 with the DC Hawks a little bit, or now known as the Baltimore Royals. Didn't play too much. Certainly has gotten more opportunities with the Empire State Titans brand over the last few seasons. Was a big part of their batting lineup.
So Ryan Scott over 200 runs, Jonathan Fu 172, Raj Nanan and Garanshu Sharma not part of the unit, so they'll have to find some places for the other replacement player that has come aboard in 2024. Ryan Scott looking for runs again. Good bowling here from Burhan Saeed. If you can contain the likes of Ryan Scott and Christopher Van Tol, Matt, you could be probably bowling something of substance.
Yeah, and Burhan Saeed, certainly a quality bowler. Has been around with this New England Eagles setup for a few years now.
So final ball coming up. If you look on your card there, Scott is on 9, Van Tol is on 7. They got off to a very good start. Here is Burhan Saeed to Ryan Scott. And Scott is looking to go through the onside. Not enough bounce, and that will complete 3. And after 3, the Philadelphians batting first. They're batting a 17 for no loss.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
So we're back with the action. Noman Iftikhar comes into bowl to Vantal. Oh, good slice. Has he had enough? Yes, in front of Burhan Saeed. And a slashing shot for 4 off the bat of Vantal.
Can't afford to give Vantal that amount of width. Long levers as well. Able to just slice it away. And a healthy enough edge to take it away to the boundary. Doesn't matter. Even with the slip in place, it was well wide. And Christopher Vantal continues to carry on here. The Philadelphians up to 21.
So a lovely shot again from Vantal. Matt, the longer Vantal's bat, he's such a prolific scorer. He scores very quickly. And there's a player on the New England team. It's going to be interesting when he comes to the middle, of course, on the opposite side. Derek Narain. Not only he's with the Eagles this year, but his opening fixture is with his old team.
Doesn't get better than that. Derek Narayan facing up against his former side.
Playing a miss, and the ball goes through to Rao. And we talked about the Philadelphians will have to do without the services of for example, Raj Nandan, Goranshu Sharma. But we have also got to look at the gains of some of these units from time to time. One of them, of course, in front of our very eyes, Christopher Vantal. And then Bhaskar Yadram, who's been experienced, been around the minor league circuit for some years. So there's always loss and gains, Matt. Oh, lovely drive into the offside. Protection out in the deep, but Vantal has come to play here today.
Yeah, and by the looks of it, Christopher Vantal certainly seems to be a good investment here from the Philadelphians. Would have had a bit of trouble in terms of their opening combinations. We saw Ryan Scott work out for them last year, got some big scores, but it's been an issue that has plagued Philly almost throughout their entire existence. They've struggled to really string together solid opening partnerships. And they've had the likes of Derek Narayan, Rajdeep Darbar as well. And now Christopher Vantal. Could he be the man?
It's the ball outside the off stump, called a wide. First extra of the innings. In fact, second extra we saw a by, and now we're seeing a wide from Noman Iftikhar. And Matt, you look at Noman Iftikhar. I recall doing a franchise tournament way back, might have been 2006, called Pro Cricket. In the earlier days when franchise cricket was still trying to break into the American scene. Oh, ball them. Always an interruption, and this time Ryan Scott goes. His stumps knocked back from Noman Iftikhar. Off stump on the ground. It's 23 for 1. Scott gone.
Huge breakthrough that indeed from Noman Iftikhar. Ryan Scott looking to swing across the line. His off stump has been rattled. And Noman Iftikhar with a big breakthrough. He mentioned how experienced he is. And Ryan Scott nowhere near it in the end. Just a wild swing across. And a big wicket goes down. It was a solid start from the Philadelphians, but the Eagles have struck back. Scott gone for 9. It's 23 for 1.
So Ryan Scott departs. Nitish Mahesh comes to the middle. And Matt, I was just making the point, as there's a big huddle there with the New England Eagles, and why not? They know the importance of Ryan Scott. And they will be quite delighted they don't have to think about him, at least for now, as Nitish Mahesh comes to the middle.
Yeah, a huge wicket there indeed. To see Ryan Scott walking back to the pavilion. Hit a boundary, played a couple of good-looking shots. Short stay at the crease when Noman Iftikhar had the final say. A big wicket there for the New England Eagles. A big confidence boost as well.
So Nitish Mahesh. And Matt, like anything else, always the first rung of games. A lot of unknowns. And we'll have to wait and see how they develop in the first rung of competition. Both teams beginning their 2024 campaign. But just coming back to Noman Iftikhar, and I recall doing a tournament in 2006, American Pro Cricket. And on that series and in that year, 2006, 2005, Noman Iftikhar, as you can imagine, like anything else, years younger. And he was one of the premier player on that scene. And when I saw him bowl, maybe he had a yard more pace than what he's bowling now, but he was such a prominent fast bowler in 2006 that you look at 2024 and he's still going. It just goes to show you, one, how long he's been around, and two, for him to be still playing competitive cricket, he has to be good. And Noman Iftikhar in 2024 still commands a place in a minor league team. He's representing the New England Eagles this year. A good shot from Mahesh, looking for runs. Throw comes to the right end, but perhaps not properly directed. 4 gone. It's 24 for 1.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Look like, go. So 4 overs gone. Philadelphians mad, they're batting at 24 for 1. Mahesh along with Vantal. They've lost the big wicket of Ryan Scott. And now Burhan Saeed will continue, but he gets a word of advice from a man who has done well in the previous over, Noman Iftikhar.
Yeah, and all the experience of Noman Iftikhar you mentioned from back in 2006. Would have been a star fast bowler. Incredible, isn't it? 2006 and all the way here in 2024. And Noman Iftikhar, Nomi, number 4, is still going strong.
And just
difficult to even understand when you look at it from the perspective of a fast bowler. The amount of strain that can put on your body, prone to so many injuries with so many moving parts and so much stress on the body in the life of a fast bowler.
So Burhan Saeed, he's bowled 2.2, none for 11. And what we have seen here from the New England Eagles, they've gone pretty consistent with both Burhan Saeed and Nomi Iftikhar. We've seen a couple of matches from yesterday and one this morning. In 4 overs of play, you would have probably seen 4 different bowlers. Ball worked into the onside. Trouble here for Nitish Mahesh, and Brian Kane has a long look and he says not out.
Yeah, the New England Eagles were up there putting some pressure here. It's the second time we've seen a bit of a mix-up between Mahesh and Vantal. First game of the season, maybe working out some communication issues as well. Both of these men are new to the Philadelphian squad. And certainly looks close. Was not an easy call at all.
Yeah, we saw earlier on Mukamala and Dominic Ricky had very good understanding, and that is because we pointed out that they've played so much together. It makes a big difference. A lot of times, Matt, I'll tell you where the deception lies. A lot of batters, especially when they're on the front foot, you tend to think that they're running into the offside, falls in front of the man, Nomi Iftikhar. And this has been a quality over from Burhan Saeed. Just coming back to what the deception is when you're the non-striker. Certain batsmen, especially in the play off the front foot, they take a few steps down. That's their follow-through. It doesn't mean you're running, but the non-striker can get mixed signal and think, well, I saw you taking a few steps, but the batsman will tell you, well, that's my follow-through. Taken on the pad, Deepak Kate, not impressed. And this has been a tidy over here from Burhan Saeed. We've seen 5 dot balls and a couple of appeals. This one has gone pretty well for the New England Eagles.
Yeah, testing both umpires in this over. We've had Brian Kane at square leg having to make a call. Deepak Kate that time, maybe a bit of a simpler call. Looked to be heading well down leg side.
So far, we've seen what, 4 umpires on duty for the last 2 games, completed games. We saw Nitish Patel, we saw Mihir Patel, and we saw Dimple also. Flicked away, a lovely shot from Nitish Mahesh, and they'll come back for a couple of runs. Taking some time, but that's a lovely flick for 2.
Yeah, nicely done. Rare ball down the leg side we saw from Burhan Saeed there. Easy for Mahesh to just work it into the leg side. Good over though from Burhan. It's 26 for 1 after 5.
So the action will continue. A bowling change. We talked about how steady Burhan Saeed and Noman Iftikhar have gone. Well, all good things comes to an end. And so the end of the spell here from Noman Iftikhar. And we'll try to pick up the bowler's name here. And so Malapali comes into the attack. Nikhil Malapati, Matt. So he starts with a big appeal. And umpire Brian Kane and both umpires, Matt, has been put under some early pressure here from the New England Eagles. We've seen some serious appeal from the men out in the middle there. So far, all of them have been negative.
The captain this year, Nikhil Malapali for the New England Eagles. 26 for 1 on the board. Van Tol has been kept quiet as of late since the departure of his opening partner, Ryan Scott.
And now we see Nikhil Malapali may have to get someone to complete this over. Now he is pulled up. And it's one thing, Matt, to have your bowler pull up, and the other thing to have that your captain is down. So double blow here for the New England Eagles. As it appears, Nikhil Malapali may not be able to complete this over, so we'll have to wait and see who will. And I told you, let's talk about completion of the over. I know one time, here's a little history for you. There was a particular over, I think West Indies were playing Bangladesh, and it took it took the West Indies 3 bowlers to finish an over. Well, it was started by Marvin Dillon, and I think he pulled up, and I think Chris Gale continued it, and then something happened to him. I can't recall exactly, and then they had to get a third someone to finish that over. We'll try to pick that up, and I'll tell you the whole story tomorrow. That's one. But number 2, I think last month I was umpiring a game. I sometimes help out with the umpiring locally in the Van Cortlandt area, and there was a game I umpired, and a guy like Nikhil Malapalli ran up, and I want to think that he outsmarted. I think he outsmarted me, to be honest. It was a crucial point of the game, and probably he didn't feel that he would be able to contain the batter, and he told me he can't bowl. And I said, well, all right. I mean, if you can't bowl. And I allowed him to come off, as Nikhil Malapalli might be struggling here. Brian Kane takes the ball away and say, thanks, but no thanks. And the game has to continue, so he's off. A double blow here. We'll continue that story about what has happened here, Matt. But it doesn't look like Nikhil Malapalli will continue. In fact, he's going to walk off. And it's such a shame that now he's leaving the field as the captain and probably a viable option as an off spinner.
Is he a pacer? He's a medium pacer. So Malapalli is off. Rizwan Mazar is continuing the over. Maybe known more for his wicket keeping. Seems he can do it all.
Yeah, Malapalli might have been also his best buddy, so Malapalli might be his best buddy. He's trying to help him out. I wonder if Malapalli made like a sporting will when he came out that anything happens to me, I am instructing you to give Rizwan Mazar to continue my spell.
That is an incredible idea.
And lawfully we go according to the will. I wonder if Brian Kane has read that will. But anyhow, Rizwan Mazar, couple of good balls. Oh, lofted shot from Christopher Van Tol, and look at that. One bounce into the offside, and the runs keep flowing from Van Tol. Lovely shot again.
Yeah, everyone in the circle on the offside. 3 men in a line trying to chase that one down, and we're never going to get there. Christopher Van Tol up and over, release shot. It's been a while since we saw an aggressive shot from Van Tol. There's one. Going after Rizwan Mazar. There's still 1 ball left in the over.
So ball turned into the onside. The power play session comes to an end. 6 gone. It's 31 for 1.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
31 for 1. Go, Matt.
So Samart Tiwari, by the looks of things, yep, into the attack, the younger spinner. And the last time Samart Tiwari played an opening game in minor league cricket to start off a season, he was incredibly well. Got a 4 for, a 5 for even maybe. And here he is again to start off his 2024 season. We'll be looking to do the same, bowling to Mahesh.
Actually, he's bowling to Vantal.
Yep. How could I make that mistake given the height difference?
So he starts well from Samar Tiwari. Am I just coming back to that big wicket haul? If I'm not mistaken, we shall check. I think he got a 6er. Oh, lovely delivery, good turn, good bounce.
I have certainly been. Do remember him having an absolute field day. Got several wickets. We'll try and confirm how many exactly.
And that might have been at the upstate venue. 31 for 1. Here is Vantal on strike. Chopped into the offside. They go through for 1, putting pressure on the field. And the Philadelphians, they're 1 up. They're up to 32 for 1. They've lost Ryan Scott, bowled Noman Iftikhar for 9 of 9 balls. The score was then 23 for 1. It's 32 for 1. Nitish Mahesh, we saw in the previous over a lovely flick for a couple of runs. New kid on the block, Matt. And he comes in place of the likes of probably Garanshu Sharma, Raj Nandan when he bats at the top of the order. And Samar Tiwari is bowled. He's bowled well in this over so far. Ball driven into the offside. Good looking shot again from Mahesh. Keeping the scoreboard ticking, but this over's gone pretty well for Samar Tiwari. Right arm leggy. We've seen a handful of them here. We saw Yasser Mohammed in the earlier game. Who else was a wrist spinner, Matt, in the couple of games that we saw? Oh, lovely. Sliced away from Vantal, looking for runs, running up towards the point boundary. And the ball crosses the cone. And that's not a good looking shot from Christopher Vantal. It's 37 for 1.
Yeah, keeping the foot on the gas here is Vantal. You could see the intent. Slicing it away, and away it went. Hits the cone for 4. So Samart was a good over up until then. But Vantal has ruined it, and the Philadelphians continuing to go at a pretty steady pace. It's 37 for 1 after 7.
The bowling change. So another bowling change. We saw an over that consisted of a couple of balls from Nikhil Malapalli, completed by Rizwan Mazar. And now Vandit Kumar Prajapati has been given the ball. And so all of a sudden, when we started to see only 2 bowlers, Matt is now gone to bowler number 6 by the New England Eagles as Prajapati comes into the attack. Oh, a chance of the batter colliding, Matt. And now Christopher Vantal points out, well, you stay on that side, I'll stay on this side. Well, that's the plan. The execution is something else.
Yeah, certainly. I think a lot of the times it can depend on the shot you play. The shot sometimes you follow through instead of having to cross to the other side. You end up just going on the side you're on.
Christopher Vantal. Oh, into the hands of, it appears to be Rizwan Mazar, but it has gone for 6.
Up and over from Christopher Van Tol. Lovely shot over long off. And Rizwan Mazar thought he was in play, but has struck too firmly over his head.
Yeah, and the irony is...
Got a hand on it.
Yeah, Rizwan Mazar was talking to those two gentlemen. And might have been a little bit of distracted there from Rizwan Mazar. We'll take a look. We'll take a look at that drop catch. And I want to point out, I just was seeing Rizwan Mazar having a conversation with those two gentlemen out in the deep. Look at, you'll see that. And that might have taken his mind and his body out of the action of cricket. And boom, a ball came in your direction and is put down. It's 8 in this over so far. We've seen a very good knock from Christopher Van Tol. He's really batted well. A very exciting player. Nitish Mahesh, he doesn't look bad either. His first season with the Philadelphians. Into the offside. They pick up another one. Christopher Van Tol comes back into strike. The Philadelphians are going this year without Goranshu Sharma, Raj Nanan, Derek Narain. And they'll get a chance to come up against Derek Narain when the Eagles bat. Van Tol into the offside. The running is a little bit more trusted now, Matt. So the 8th over comes to a close. It's 46 for 1. Bring in Samart and tell me.
So Samart Tiwari comes back into the attack. First over would have gone for 6. It's been a good over, but 4 right at the end had ruined it. Samart Tiwari would have had a field day last year. I mentioned would have taken 6 for 5 against the Somerset Cavaliers.
What is 5? What is 6?
The wickets was 6, the runs was 5.
So comes into Van Tol. And Matt, I talked about leg spinners. Spinners in general want the batters to play off the back foot on this wicket if you're smart enough. And part of that reason is the outfield is not one of the quickest. And so once you're shortish of a length, batsmen are more inclined to really punch it along the carpet. And most of the time you'll probably get 2 the most. But if you allow the batters to come onto the front foot, most batters are strong in that area and they'll take you out of the park. In this over, we have seen 3 balls, all shortish of a length. And all 3 balls, Van Tol has gone on his back foot. I would love to see a uppish punch, up and over from the back foot that could give people runs in this type of bowling.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to get away from any of these deliveries so far, has Van Tol.
We've seen 3 dot balls. The Philadelphians opted to bat first, led by Jonathan Fu. They're batting at 47 for 1. There we go. That's the googly. That's the straighter ball. Van Tol has played back on all 4 occasions.
It's very consistent bowling as well from Samart Tiwari. He's forced Van Tol 4 deliveries in a row to pretty much play almost the exact same shot. Very consistent bowling from a youngster like Samart.
So punch down the ground, and here is where, Matt, you hear the expression. Come down, get to the pitch of the ball, and maybe pick up that shot to go long off, long on, more towards the offside, hitting with the spin when you do so. Look at that. This has been a very good over from Samar Tiwari. He has done what we talked about, just pushing the batsman backwards. And not too many shots there. 48 for 1, 9 gone.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
So 48 for 2. So looks like another bowling change. Oh, slice in the air. Easy catch. And Vantal has given it away. It's 48 for 2.
Yeah, Vantal looking to take him on. Looking to go big again, getting a slice and a simple catch in the end. So the second wicket falls here for the Philadelphians. Christopher Vantal, it was a good innings from him, but he has to fall in the end for 31. It's 48 for 2.
So Usman Ashraf comes in, Matt. Perfect bowling start to his spell, and he's taken out the big Christopher Vantal. So Vantal goes 48 for 2. Usman Ashraf, former US national, has picked up one on his first ball. More wrist spin in the form of Usman Ashraf.
And we were talking on our way to the ground this morning about whether or not wrist spin is dead for many teams and for many coaches. It clearly isn't for the New England Eagles, because they've got 2 wrist spinners that we've seen so far. Who knows, there could be more. But 2 wrist spinners that we know of so far, and Samar Tiwari and now in Usman Ashraf, which is not something you see a lot in cricket, even at the international level or at the major franchise level. You don't really see many sides go with 2 wrist spinners in an 11.
So it looks like Ashish Vatem has come to the middle. Ashraf is the bowler. Taking on the pad, Brian Kane not impressed. And Matt, all of a sudden, the New England Eagles, we're beginning to see some very good bowling. Take a look at this one. And umpire Brian Kane says not out. 48 for 2. And Vatem, we'll have to wait and see. Could be leg byes here. And umpire Brian Kane signals a leg by. 49 for the loss of 2. Nitish Mahesh comes back onto strike. And so we apologize for the behind scoring for the time being, but I'll tell you it's 49 for 2. Mahesh is on 6. He's the man on strike. Usman Ashraf is the bowler. Ashish Vatem has just come to the middle. And Nitish Mahesh, the man on 6. So we're back on track. And the ball spinning outside the off stump, allowed to be left alone here by Nitish Mahesh. Not too many times in the shorter version of the game match you'll see ball left alone, but the bowling has really been good. Tugged into the onside. That brings up the 50 here for the Philadelphians. And it comes on the stroke of the 10th over.
Yeah, 50 up for the Philadelphians. Going at just about 5 runs and over.
We've seen some very good spin bowling so far. We've seen Samar Tiwari. You talked about Samar Tiwari. And now you're watching Usman Asraf. He's played at the US national level one time. Comes down the track is Vatem. Doesn't go too well. 10 over comes to a close. And after 10, the Philadelphians are batting a 50 for 2.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
So ball worked into the onside as Samar Tiwari continues. So 51 for 2. We're in over number 11. Samar Tiwari will come into ball to Ashish Vatem. Vatem is driving straight back to Samar Tiwari, Matt. It's a passage of play in which the New England Eagles have really bowled some tidy overs, and they're beginning to get on top of the Philadelphians. Coming down the track is Vatem. Can't score again. In fact, now will score. And he's gone. Look at that. Look at that. Nitish Mahesh is gone. Might have been the pressure by some very good bowling. They're deciding to take a very cheeky single. And in the end, the Philadelphians are 3 down for 51 on the board.
So Jonathan Fu walks out to the middle, the captain of the Philadelphians. The longtime captain, very experienced campaigner is Jonathan Fu. And has led this team well throughout the years. The Philadelphians have always been one of the top sides across the East. First taste of playoff cricket last season. Looking for a switch hit right away is Jonathan Fu. And now appeals all around by the New England Eagles. But not out for the LBW and not out for maybe even for a catch. 51 on the board. As you look at this again from Jonathan Fu, a very ambitious way to start off. Not sure where that struck him. May have struck him on the arm. And he goes again. This time, though, he's able to get hold of it, and he gets it in the gap. Beats the fielder, running away, runs away for 4. So Jonathan Fu is off the mark in some style. Back-to-back reverse sweeps attempt. And this time, he gets it away. Beats the fielder, and away for 4. So the captain is off the mark. Gets the Philadelphians up to 55. Goodness me. Say goodbye to that one. Jonathan Fu has dispatched one. The slug sweep pulled out, and it's gone a long way back. And Jonathan Fu has come out, and in very little time, in only 3 deliveries, has already taken off here. 10 from just 2 balls. And a big way to end the over. 11 from it. It's 61 for 3.
So 11 overs gone, 61 for 3. Vatem into the onside and hands a strike over to a very experienced player, Matt. He's played youth cricket for Guyana and the West Indies, and then a bit of regional cricket at all levels, first class, 50 over and T20 level. And he's already played a couple of big shots. Jonathan Fu. He's been at the helm of leadership with the Philadelphians a couple of years now. And he comes in here critical time with 53 balls remaining. Batting with Ashish Vatem. Steered into the offside and allowing his partner to be on strike. We saw an over from Samar Tiwari. Couple of big shots towards the end. And the Philadelphians, they're batting a 63 for 3. The batter's out. Vantal for 31, Ryan Scott for 9, and Nitish Mahesh for 8. It's a toss that they won and elected to bat. We've seen a surprise turn of winning the toss and batting in a couple of games. As in the case of the Stallions, worked out pretty well, made 124 and defended it. Inside edge, doesn't matter how they come. And the attacking Jonathan Fu, the captain of the Philadelphians, Matt, very experienced player. Comes back into strike on 11, and when I say experience, I totally mean also that he has so much experience in the West Indies. Of course, he's a West Indian, but also a lot of experience in the United States. We've seen him around the tri-state area for many years now. And if that doesn't count for something, this one in the air, is that Noman Iftikhar? Circles around, and in the end, doesn't hold on. And Jonathan Fu, has he come back for 3? We'll have to double check how many they've run. And ball hanging in the air for some time. Noman Iftikhar in with a chance, but he doesn't hold on. It's 67 for 3.
Yeah, a long way up and a long way down from Noman Iftikhar. on the turf. It's a big chance as well. We'll see how costly that could be. Dropping a chance off of Jonathan Fu.
Yeah, dropping any batter is bad. Look at this, a full toss, and Vatem takes him out of the playing area by some yards. That has gone for a massive 6.
Huge hit from Ashish Vatem. You've got to say it's a poor delivery from Usman Ashraf, but you offer a full toss to a lot of batsmen, they still won't put it away. Vatem certainly has. And it's a big over for the Philadelphians. 12 from it, 73 for 3. So Vandit Prajapati, change of ends for him. 1 over for 10 so far. Will be bowling to Jonathan Fu. Fu is surprisingly defensive. I say surprisingly because he's already struck a 4 and a 6. He's come out very no-nonsense, very aggressive batter is Jonathan Fu. And we haven't even seen Bhaskar Yadram as yet. So still some power in this Philly lineup.
And Matt, you look at Jonathan Fu, and I talk about the experience of this man. Already he has figured out what shot works on this ground, what timing to be used. And he has allowed Vandit Prajapati to bowl a couple of good balls. He's more of a skidder. And now look at that. He buys his time. He goes big, gets a slice, and that has gone away for 4. Off the bat of Jonathan Fu. And he is pushed quickly up to 18 and 77 for 3.
A blistering cameo as this is so far from Jonathan Fu. Again, swinging wildly across the line. And when you swing that hard, sometimes even if you get an edge, it'll help take it away for 4. Fully committed to the shot.
Yeah.
Jonathan Fu moves up to 18.
Not a productive shot from him. Here is Prajapati. Looking to go big, and a delivery that has caused a bit of concern. We saw in the previous match. Jesse Singh got a couple of balls just outside off from the right-hander. And seems to be one of those unpredictable area in front of the batter. Into the offside. And they go through for another one. 78 for 3. This is the 13th over. The batter's out. Ryan Scott for 9. Vantal for 31. And Mahesh for 8. Seeing a good knock from Jonathan Fu. He's been with the Philadelphians for some years now. You'll have to see what the outcome of this first innings total. Yeah, ball, good stop here from Prajapati. Would have been a sure one for sure. So the 13th over comes to a close. It's 78 for 3.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
So Apurva Maheshram, young all-rounder, into the attack with 7 overs to go. We've seen a lot of bowlers used here by the New England Eagles. And Maheshram, another one into the attack.
So he starts with a wide. Extra run here for the Philadelphians. Jonathan Fu switches hit. Look at that. Will run away for 4. So Jonathan Fu comes up with a switch hit, Matt. Executed quite well. And it's gone away for 4. Lovely shot again. 83 for 3.
Yeah, he's played some very innovative shots already, has Jonathan Fu. And he's gotten some good results for them so far. The second boundary off of an unorthodox shot we've seen. 23 off 11. He's batting on a different surface.
And the fact that the Matt at the top level, at the international level, when you see these international players plays these shots, you can't always look upon the play with a bit of scorn, because these days the players they practice these shots. Similarly, in which you will practice your orthodox shot, they do spend some time trying to play these reverse and switch hits. And so a lot of time when you see them play it, it's a rehearsal that they have planned. They've tried to perfect it to some degree. And they come out in matches and ready to execute what they've learned. Vatem into the offside, safe shot. Will only fetch him 1 and brings Jonathan Fu back onto strike. We've got 38 balls still remaining. And earlier on, I passed by the Philadelphian camp and I saw Bhaskar Yadram all padded up, so he could be the man coming next. With 38 balls remaining, couple of balls in this over.
Certainly wouldn't surprise me. Nearing the end of the innings. Got to get Yadram some time out in the middle.
So Jonathan Fu trying to go reverse. Doesn't go too well, and this has been not a bad over here from Mahesh Ram. He's only given up 7. We've seen a boundary. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Turns around the other way and smashes this one through the onside. And that has gone away for another boundary.
Jonathan Fu is making this look too easy. It's about the 3rd time now he's played a shot similar to that and he's got a boundary for it. He's attempted it a few more times. And another boundary here off the bat of the skipper, Jonathan Fu. It's 89 for 3 after 14.
So we 89 for 3, 36 balls remaining. We've seen an excellent partnership of 38 between Vatem and Jonathan Fu, the tallest so far. We've also seen a 25-run partnership between Vantal and Mahesh. And Vatem wants a single. No, says Jonathan Fu. Probably a turn down one there, Matt. You think? Prajapati 2.1 none for 15 so far. Oh, that's a lovely strike. Protection out in the deep. Will get a single. And this is the first time I'm seeing Ashish Vatem. And I gotta say, Matt, he looks to be a quality player.
Yeah, he certainly, you can tell just some of the shots he's played. You can tell he's a very quality player. Can even strike the ball quite nicely. We saw the full toss he was offered by Usman Ashraf, sent that way over the tents for 6. And he's joined out there in good company with Jonathan Fu, who has really taken the initiative.
Yeah, they've really batted well. 39-run partnership. 90 for 3 with 34 balls remaining, and Prajapati to Fu. Fu gets a good delivery, and look at that. Opens the face of the bat, picks up another run, and hands the strike over to Vatem. Batting still to come. You think Yadram will surely come next? Devishwari Prasad is another player who can give you a few with the bat. Abdul Jabbar, certainly no slouch. And just coming back to Vatem, he's really looked to play some crisp shots, and I would love to see him on grounds in which you can get fairer value for your shots. He looks to be a good form driver of the ball. We've seen him play a couple of big shots, yes, but I get the feeling he's more of a driver, more of a stroke player. 91 for 3 here is Prajapati. He has kept them quiet. He gets a good delivery. Can't do much with a delivery like that. He's more of a skidder. Vandit Prajapati, a short man, or one of the shorter player here, and getting the ball to stay low and skid.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't look like much, but when you look at the numbers, 2.5 overs for 17, he's bowled quite economically.
Big shot from Vatem into the onside. The ball hanging in the air for a while. Didn't carry. And that brings to the end the 15th over. 15 gone. It's 92 for 3. So we're down to the last 30 balls. 15 overs gone, 92 for 3. They're going just over 6 runs and over. We've seen a good partnership, Matt, between Vatem and Jonathan Fu. And probably the stage is set here for what to come in the next 30 balls, as we see Noman Iftikhar will come back for his second spell. 2 overs, no min, 1 for 12.
Maybe a bit surprising we didn't see Iftikhar bowl a third earlier on. A lot of the times he would bowl 3 or even all 4 of his overs right at the start of the innings. We'll see what he has to offer here towards the back end. He'll be bowling to 2 very set men out in the middle.
And Matt, how effective are these bowlers? He bowled over number 1 and then over number 3. Got the wicket of Ryan Scott, well stopped by the fielder. Looks to be Burhan Saeed, and saving runs. Or else that ball might have gone away for 4. But just coming back to Noman Iftikhar, how effective they become. Bowling a new ball, bowling over number 1, bowling over number 3. And he comes back here to bowl over number 16. With a ball that has gone up quite a few knockings. 92 runs hit off this ball. Yeah, big appeal. Brian Kane says not out, and now comes the direct hit. He's gone. So what started as an appeal for a leg before looking for a wicket has ended up to be a wicket, this time by the run-out route. And Ashish Vatem has to go. It's 92 for 4.
Well, he wasn't given out for the LBW, but he was certainly out for the run-out. Getting down the other end, and Vatem, the direct hit, was short of his ground.
So Bhaskar Yadram walks to the middle. And you get the feeling, man, Bhaskar Yadram, he's known more of a back-end batter, more of a finisher. And with 28 balls remaining, has he come at the right time?
I think so. And I think Jonathan Fu and Bhaskar Yadram teeing off at the same time is a scary thought for the New England Eagles. Just going back to your question about how effective Noman Iftikhar would be, I guess that's the thing, isn't it, in T20 cricket? That's what separates the good bowlers from the great ones. To be able to come in and bowl at any stage of the game, especially as a pacer, to come in to bowl in the power play, to get the shape, to get the movement, and then towards the back end, more so in terms of the variations and just being able to put the ball in a good line and length without the help of really the new sheen of the ball. And Noman Iftikhar, with all of his experience, I'm sure will pretty much tell you the same thing. It's a totally different skill set that pacers will need to bowl at the start of the innings and at the end.
So Jonathan Fu remains on 29, the man on strike. And that unmistakable grunt from from Noman Iftikhar. We've seen the grunt so prominent among a lot of international cricketers. One close to home, the fast bowler from Canada,
Jeremy Gordon.
Jeremy Gordon. A South African pacer, Chris Morris. I think South African saw him bowled a few times, always with a little bit of grunt. The grunt, of course, more popular in tennis than it is in cricket. Yeah, here's that groan and grunt from Noman Iftikhar. How haven't we picked that up all the time?
I wonder if the viewers can hear that. I'm not sure if they'll be able to hear that. If you are, then you'll know what we're talking about. If not, you must be wondering, what are we not hearing?
I think they hear because I've watched a little bit of the feed last night, and I did hear some of the balls being struck. I heard chatter in the field, a little bit of voices picking up, and that might have been on the two mounted cameras on both ends, on top of the sight screen. Yeah. Brian Kane says not out. Ball going down the leg side. May have touched something on its way through. Yeah, could have been the pad. And the other thing, how many times haven't we seen fielders just trying to distract the umpire from not signaling a wide? It would have been hilarious after all that appeal. Brian Kane said wide.
So I was certainly waiting for it. I was waiting for all the appeals to die down and then the arms to be outstretched, but it may have ended up clipping the pad or so, as it wasn't signaled.
So the 16th over comes to a close. The Philadelphians, they're batting at 94 for 4.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
We come down to the last 24 balls, Matt. 94 for 4. 24 will give them 118. We're beginning to see 118, 125 being the par score at Mercer County Park.
I think the Philadelphians could be on course for more than that if Jonathan Fu and Bhaskar Yadram can stick around.
But we've seen some good bowling, some tidy overs from Vandit Prajapati. He runs in. Will come into bowl to the hard hitting Bhaskar Yadram. Yadram off the front foot, stroking and stroking nicely into the offside. Beats the man, that's 4 runs. So
Yeah.
Bhaskar Yadram brings up his first boundary. It's 99 for 4. Lovely shot.
Very good shot from Bhaskar Yadram. Very easy, just a regular cover drive. And again, we mentioned how much improved this outfield has been from last season. A lot of work there to do for Burhan Saeed and certainly the captain, whoever that may be, because Malipali went off. I'm not sure who the stand-in captain is, if Malipali is back on the field. I'm not sure.
Well,
whoever is in charge wasn't happy about that. They've sent Noman Iftikhar there.
So off his hip. Yadram picks up another single, hands the strike over to Jonathan Fu. I want to think it's Pranav Rao. I saw him at the back of the wicket, just making some adjustments on the offside.
Every keeper is a captain in their own right.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but we'll certainly get down to that. 100 on the board, by the way, 100 for the Philadelphians, and it comes in the 17th over. And so Matt, 100 with 21 balls remaining. Fu on 30. Bhaskar Yadram is on 6. And it's 100 for 4 on the board here for the Philadelphians. Jonathan Fu, very experienced. And Bhaskar Yadram, very experienced. His first year with the Philadelphians. And look at that. On top of the commentary box. That has gone for a massive 6 over the com box by some margin. And Jonathan Fu has smashed one out of the park.
Lovely shot from Jonathan Fu. He had to stretch a bit for that one as well. Took it from wide outside off. But just the power, the strength of Jonathan Fu to send it well over, straight back down the ground as well. Lovely shot. And the Philadelphians, they must be always so proud to call Jonathan Fu their captain. When you see shots like that, when you see performances like this, 36 of 20 deliveries, what an innings he's played. The Philadelphians, their camp must be quite happy to say, that's our skipper.
And Matt, I spoke about Jonathan Fu. He's not just a slam bang hitter of the ball. Oh, look at that. It's in the air. He could be in trouble. He could be in trouble. Fielder settles, takes the catch. And Jonathan Fu falls. It's 106 for 5. For 4.
Well judged catch in the end. Jonathan Fu looking to have a repeat of what he did the ball before. This time picking out the fielder. It's a very good catch. Tala Mumtaz looks to be the fielder. So Jonathan Fu has to depart for 36, a well played 36. 171 strike rate. It's 106 for 5.
So Deveshwari Prasad comes in, 19 balls remaining. And I talked about how good Vandit Prajapati as Jonathan Fu walks back to some rounding applause from the Philadelphian camp. And Matt, I think he's played a very good hand here, Jonathan Fu. A well-played 36. It's 106 for 5. Now it's left to the likes of Bhaskar Yadram and Prasad, who's just come to the crease. And you've got to say we've seen a good, rewarding effort here from Prajapati. 1 for 30. But he is bowled at a tough phase of the game in an over in which he has conceded some 12 runs. Prashad on strike.
And familiar friends will be Bhaskar Yadram and Devish Roy Prashad. Sure, they've spent a lot of time out in the middle together. They do play for the same local club in New York. So we see Jonathan Fu. Prashad goes up and over. Noman Iftikhar called into action. Ends the over. It's 107 for 5 after 17.
So Usman Ashraf gets a second spell. 2 overs, no main, 1 for 13. Picked up the wicket of Christopher Van Tull off his very first ball when he started. And Prashad just taps this one into the onside. Could be looking for a couple of runs. Bhaskar Yadram comes back quickly. And 2 valuable runs here for the Philadelphians. 109 for 5, Matt. 17 balls to go.
Devish Roy Prashad coming in at number 7. And his batting has something that has really, as this one has gone straight up in the air, it might ruin what I was just about to say. It has. I was just going to say his batting has probably been a bit underutilized, but he's gone and he's got one straight up in the air. And the fielder has taken the catch. So Usman Ashraf gets the second wicket. Devish Roy Prashad doesn't last too long. He falls for 3. It's 109 for 6.
Yeah, looking for runs coming down to the last 16 balls. And in the end, a well-judged catch by the fielder. Judged it well, held on. And the 6th wicket falls here for the Philadelphians. It's 109 for 6. To the middle, and he joins Bhaskar Yadram, who's off strike. We've got 16 balls remaining. Ashraf has picked up 2, and we come down to what is being looking like it's becoming apparent, Matt, that around 120, 125 seems to be the score on this ground so far in a couple of matches we've seen this year. Aurora with a couple of balls outside the off stump, and all of a sudden New England Eagles are beginning to tighten the screws here in what could be considered a death part of the innings with 14 balls remaining. Down the ground, can't score. And this over's gone pretty well from Usman Ashraf.
Yeah, he's bowled quite well today. 2 for 15, Usman Ashraf. Aurora coming in maybe a much later than you would expect him to. Aurora maybe coming in a much more later than you would expect him to. Usually a top liner. But Ashraf has bowled very well. It's a dot ball to finish. 2 for 15 from 3 overs for Usman Ashraf. And he got the wicket of Prashad in that over, 109 for 6.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
So Burhan Saeed, a massive strike from Bhaskar Yadram, and that has gone almost to the parking lot.
Huge hit from Bhaskar Yadram, and that's what he's capable of. Such a strong man is Bhaskar Yadram. Do not bowl there at this stage of the game, Burhan. You will get put away for 6.
And I get the feeling that Burhan Saeed could go for quite a few in this over. Not to say anything, but the batters are looking for some pace on the ball. Irrespective who bowls at this juncture of the game, you're going to be targeted. Saeed runs into bowl to Yadram. Yadram down the ground. Mahesh Ram comes off the long on boundary. And Arsh Arora comes back onto strike. 10 balls remaining, Matt. It's 116.
We'll see what Arsh Arora is capable of doing here. You'd think he'd want to get Bhaskar Yadram back on strike. Or if not, do even better and start smashing them himself.
Yeah, that's the irony. You've got a batter rearing to go, already striking a big, massive 6. And will come into bowl to Arora. Oh, he gets a single. That's the good part. And puts the attacking Bhaskar Yadram back on strike. He's another player who comes from the West Indies and has had a lot of experience playing in the United States. He's settled in the New York City area, and as you would have mentioned, played with the same team along with Deveshwari Prasad. No elevation, looking for 2. I don't think there'll be 2 here. And Bhaskar Yadram picks up 1. Balls running out, 8 balls remaining. Would you have run that single there, Matt?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think Bhaskar Yadram has really got to remain strike here. Unless he tells Arsh Arora 2 deliveries left. Probably get 2 free swings at this.
Oh, a big shot! Arsh Arora has knocked this one out of the park.
Lovely shot from Arsh Arora. Again, that's what I was just making the point. Maybe Yadram telling him, you've got 2 balls. Swing away for the 2 deliveries and make sure you connect. He's done more than that. He has sent that a long way back. And exactly what the Philadelphians needed. Arsh Arora, and it's gotten the Philadelphians level on the score we saw earlier today.
So 15 off this over. Burhan Saeed. Arora goes big, goes far, goes long, and that's another 6 off the bat of Arsh Arora.
Lovely shot again. Back-to-back 6s from Arsh Arora. He's much more of a stroke player, but he's coming in here much later than expected, and the job is quite simple with just over and over to go. Just go out there and launch it, and he's done that. Couple of 6s, a big over off of Burhan Saeed. 130 for 6 with 1 over to go.
So let's come back to this argument now. Should Bhaskar Yadram, the way Arsh Arora is striking this ball, takes a single and give Arora the strike?
In hindsight, absolutely.
The tables have turned.
I always believed in Arsh Arora. Always know he could do it. Final over coming up.
So Noman Iftikhar given the ball. And the fact is, we've seen a couple of massive 6s off the bat of Arora in the previous over. And it's 130 for 6, competitive score. And Noman Iftikhar circles around, makes that left turn, and will come into bowl to Bhaskar Yadram and to a ball that is Pitched up. Bhaskar Yadram now begins to trust Aurora. And they scamper through for one. Aurora comes back into strike. The last time we saw him, he smashed 2-6 in the player's vicinity of the Philadelphians. It's 131 for 6, 5 balls remaining. We made the point that what we have seen in 2 days, in 2 matches, we saw 119, we saw 124, and now we've seen Philadelphians posted 131 with 5 balls remaining. Here is Nomi Iftikhar. Listen for the grunt.
Bit of an anticlimax there from Aurora. It's a good delivery though, right in the block hole from Noman Iftikhar. Very difficult to hit those away. He gets Bhaskar Yadram back on strike. It's been a good partnership between these two. Yadram 15 off 7, Aurora 14 off 8.
And Matt, I always talk about finishing the innings on a high. How psychological that benefits when you come back out.
Well, they've already got the highest total we've seen so far in this year's edition. And they've still got 4 deliveries to pile on even more.
Good bowling here. Bhaskar Yadram wants a couple of runs. They'll come back for 2. In fact, the ball may have beaten. In fact, they settled for 2, but Bhaskar Yadram was quite intent. Very good bowling here from Noman Iftikhar. He hasn't given them a chance for them to go under the ball. And if you can get adequately enough under the ball, you're not going to get elevation, Matt.
Certainly, but that's also very good fielding there from Rizwan Mazar. Yadram going dead straight. 2 fielders came.
So 3 balls remaining. Here is that turn. As an airliner, and he starts on the runway looking to lift off. Here we go to Noman Iftikhar. And again, good line. And I say line just outside off. It may have some elevation had Bhaskar Yadram been able to get close to the ball, but look at the line.
Yeah, he gave himself some room there, Yadram. Iftikhar getting one outside off. He couldn't reach it. So 2 deliveries to go. This has been brilliant from Noman Iftikhar. He's been good all day. 3.4 overs, 1 for 18. Everything has been near perfect in this over. Exactly what you'd want to see from an experienced player such as Noman Iftikhar bowling the final over.
And Matt, it comes at a time in which we saw an over previous to this over from Burhan Saeed that went for 21. This one has only gone for 5, and this is the final over. You might be thinking, if the 19 goes for 21, you're hoping that the 20th goes for more than 21. Isn't that how it's supposed to be?
Yeah, that's what a lot of franchises will probably say. The last over really tends to be the one they'll look to go. That you probably want that to be your best over of the game. But Noman Iftikhar has caused that to be almost the exact opposite.
So final ball, it's 135 for 6. Ash Aurora on strike, and here's the final ball. Iftikhar to Aurora. Aurora is bowled. So Noman Iftikhar has come back, and he's picked up his 2nd wicket. And the Philadelphians, they end their 20 overs allotment, scoring 135 for 6.
Yeah, Aurora cleaned up right at the end. A brilliant final over. Just 5 conceded from Noman Iftikhar. 2 for 19 from his 4 overs. Take a bow. The evergreen Noman Iftikhar. And the Philadelphians still quite happy, I'm sure. 135 is the highest score we've seen posted. Jonathan Fu, certainly a big help with that. We saw a good start from Christopher Vantol. Jonathan Fu, and then a big applause there for Bhaskar Yadram and Ash Aurora as they walk back, having played a good hand as well. A quick finish. Yadram 18 off 10, Aurora 14 off 9. If you look at the bowlers, many bowlers, 8 bowlers used by the New England Eagles. Malipali and Rizwan Mazar shared an over. 2 wickets for Noman Iftikhar, 2 wickets for Usman Ashraf were really the best of the best for the Eagles. Burhan Saeed had bowled well up until his final over. So 135 is the total set by the Philadelphians. And the New England Eagles will need 136, going at 6.8 and over. And we will catch you back with the chase very shortly. Today.
So he gets a good in swinger in cutter. And Christopher Vantel does well to keep it out. Very good start. Runs not easy to come. It's up in the air. The fielder runs back, number 19, just trying to get hands onto the ball. In the end, it's a 4 to Ryan Scott. He goes up to 8. It's 9 for no. Oh, that's a lovely shot. No man move. He stands up. Oh, good slice. Has he had enough? Yes, in front of Burhan Saeed. And a slashing shot for 4 off the bat of Vantel to the American scene. Oh, balled him. Always an interruption. And this time, Ryan Scott goes. Ball worked into the onside. Trouble here for Nitish Mahesh. And Brian Kane has a long look. And he says not out. Oh, lofted shot from Christopher Vantel. And look at that. One bounce into the offside. And the runs keep flowing from Vantel. Lovely shot again. Oh, lovely. Sliced away from Vantel. Looking for runs. Running up towards the point boundary. And the ball crosses the cone.
On the side you're on.
Christopher Vantel. Oh, into the hands of it appears to be Rizwan Mazar. Oh, slice in the air. Easy catch. And Vantel has given it away. It's 48 for 2. Coming down the track is Vatem. Can't score again. In fact, now will score. And he's gone. Look at that. Look at that. Nitish Mahesh is gone.
And he goes again. This time, though, he's able to get hold of it, and he gets it in the gap. Beats the fielder, running away, runs away for 4. Goodness me. Say goodbye to that one. Jonathan Fu has dispatched one. The slug sweep pulled out, and it's gone a long way back.
Many years now. And if that doesn't count for something, this one in the air, is that Noman Iftikhar? Circles around. And in the end, doesn't hold on. And Jonathan Fu, has he come back for 3? We'll have to double check. Any batter is bad. Look at this, a full toss. And Vatem takes him out of the playing area by some yards. That has gone for a massive 6. And now look at that. He buys his time. He goes big, gets a slice, and that has gone away for 4. Off the bat of Jonathan Fu. Jonathan Fu switches hit. Look at that. Will run away for 4. So Jonathan. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Turns around the other way and smashes this one through the onside. Yeah, big appeal. Brian Kane says not out, and now comes the direct hit. He's gone. So the hard hitting Bhaskar Yadram. Yadram off the front foot, stroking and stroking nicely into the offside. Beats the man, that's 4 runs. Philadelphians. And look at that. On top of the commentary box. That has gone for a massive 6. Oh, look at that. It's in the air. He could be in trouble. He could be in trouble. Fielder settles, takes the catch. And Jonathan Fu falls. Saeed. Oh, massive strike from Bhaskar Yadram. And that has gone almost to the parking lot. Oh, a big shot. Arsh Arora has knocked this one out of the park. Burhan Saeed. Arora goes big, goes far, goes long. And that's another 6. Iftikhar to Arora. Arora is bowled. So Noman Iftikhar.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
You're watching the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies.
So we welcome you back for the chase. 136 is needed. Bhaskar Yadram will start for the Philadelphians. Derek Narain, and it looks like Prajapati has come to the middle mat. 136 could be a score.
It'll certainly take a bit of chasing here, judging from what we've seen. It'll certainly take a bit of chasing from what we've seen. The Philadelphians setting the highest score we've seen so far. And the New England Eagles have a chance to overtake them if they're able to chase this one down. Derek Narain and Vandit Prajapati, we saw how a decent of a start Ryan Scott and Christopher Vantol got for the New England Eagles. Derek Narain and Vandit Prajapati on their day can certainly be, or can certainly replicate a similar performance if they can both get going.
And Matt, we made mention that Derek Narain has come up facing a team that he's been with for the last 2-3 years, you'd say?
Yeah, he's been around the Philadelphia setup for a while, has Derek Narain.
So Bhaskar Yadram will come into both the Derek Narain. Here's the first ball in the chase. Narain flicks into the onside, so he's off and running. Prajapati comes into strike. And a good start here from the New England Eagles. They're one for no loss. And still 135 to win. Hazy conditions or overcast conditions here at Mercer County Park. And day 2 of cricket here to begin the 2024 minor league cricket season.
We'll see Vandit Prajapati come on to strike. He would have spent last season with the Manhattan Yorkers. Didn't have the best of seasons after he had a breakout season in 22 with the Somerset Cavaliers. Gone, so a soft dismissal, would you believe it? Straight back into the hands of Bhaskar Yadram, a tame chip from Vandit Prajapati. And just like that, Bhaskar Yadram has struck. The Philadelphians have got an early wicket, and it's a big one. Prajapati is gone for a golden duck.
So an early wicket for Bhaskar Yadram. Prajapati gone without scoring. And Talha Mumtaz comes to the middle. Early trouble here for the New England Eagles. They're 1 for 1. They've lost Prajapati quite early. And now Bhaskar Yadram will come into both of Talha Mumtaz. Matt, a dream start here for Bhaskar Yadram and the Philadelphians. A team that made it to the Super 8 last year. The New England Eagles still trying to find their footing in minor league cricket. Oh, it gets an edge is Talha Mumtaz, so he's off the mark and running himself. And brings Derek Narain back onto strike. Derek Narain has spent some time at the Philadelphians. And Matt, from your experience, how does these things work out when you come against your former team in any sport? I know you watch a lot of soccer from time to time, but we're talking cricket here, and what's the dynamics at play? Ball tucked into the onside. Narain picks up his second run.
I think certainly, from my experience, a lot of the time as a football or soccer fan, or even as someone that watches the NFL quite frequently, there's two types of scenarios. There's the scenario where the player leaves to a side that probably doesn't have the best relations to the former side he was with. So there is that bit of tension. There is that bit of bad blood.
Mm.
And then there's the times where as a player was very well loved, very well respected, a fan favorite, and you know it's more of a wholesome thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Especially if you've been, first of all, there's got to be a reason why you're not there anymore, whether good or bad.
Yeah, certainly.
And you've got a point to prove. I always think that no matter where you go, give a good account of yourself. But it spurs you on when you come against your former teammates.
Yeah, certainly does.
So ball edged onto the pad here of the bat of Mumtaz, and it's been a quiet reply to 135 posted by the Philadelphians. Let's see who did well. We saw Christopher Vantal. He got a 31. Jonathan Fu got 36. And towards the end, Arsh Arora 14, Bhaskar Yadram 18 made sure that they've posted in 2 games that we have seen and did. Posted the highest score in a couple of matches. Ball tugged into the onside. That will complete the first over. Good one here for Bhaskar Yadram. 5 for 1. 131 more needed.
So 5 for 1 on the board. We saw a very good over from Bhaskar Yadram, one that took the wicket of Vandit Prajapati. To go back to your question about the effect of playing against the former side, was one thing actually in the IPL that Kuldeep Yadav, and there was a report that Kuldeep Yadav actually refused to bowl to Tristan Stubbs in the nets, or he didn't bowl to Tristan Stubbs frequently in the nets. And part of that may have been because he simply, especially with the World Cup coming up soon, probably didn't want Tristan Stubbs to know too many of his secrets. Probably a thing, especially with cricket, where you bounce around, you play multiple different competitions for multiple different teams, unlike football or unlike American football or in the NFL where you're restricted to just one franchise. Cricket, it's a totally different dynamic. So certainly adds a little bit of extra tension and extra maybe a bit of strategy to see players who you were once very good teammates with, that you would have talked about a lot, learned about them, especially Derek Narayan, who's been with the Philadelphians for years now, coming up against his former side.
So Devashwari Prasad has been given the ball. He's been with this franchise for some time himself, and now Derek Narayan comes in to strike. And you look at this matchup, there's so much familiarity with this matchup. Prasad and Derek Narayan, they play in the same league in New York, National League. Played a lot of times against each other during the Saturday competition and even the Sunday competition. We talked about the teammates along with Bhaskar Yadram and Devashwari Prasad. They enjoy that teammates relationship with the ACS in New York. Narayan into the offside, and the second wicket goes down. Narayan gone for 2. Is 6 for 2.
Yeah, Devashwari Prasad right away making things happen. He's got a wicket, and the Eagles are in really big trouble here. First Prajapati falls, and now Derek Narayan falls. Also a bit of a soft dismissal, just a tame chip uppishly into the legs, into the offside. And a very simple catch, a low catch, but a simple one nonetheless. as Derek Narayan falls. It's 6 for 2.
So Mahesh Ram comes in at 4. And the Eagles find themselves in trouble, Matt. The wicket of Derek Narain and then the wicket earlier on of Prajapati. Both Bhaskar Yadram and Prashad has picked up 1 apiece. And the Philadelphians on top of the Eagles for the time being. Playing a miss and ball goes through to guess who? Christopher Van Tol, one of the most stylish keeper going around town.
Adds a lot of flair behind the stumps. There's Christopher Van Tol. As you mentioned earlier, when he was batting, one of the taller keepers around as well. Must get very intimidating when the spinners come on, when he's standing up.
And Matt, I've always wondered why, and probably I can logically come to the conclusion that why keepers are more on the shorter type. Is it because you do a lot of sit-ups and you're closer to the ground? Bending factor, squatting factor that keeper does all the time. You look at Van Tol. And here we go with the squat. And are you lower to the ground? I've always wondered, but
I think it might have to do as well, maybe with reflexes. Perhaps feeling that shorter people can get down quickly enough to take those reflex catches. Then at the same time, when the shorter stuff comes, it goes over the batter's head. A lot of times it might go over the keeper's head as well. Some very short keepers around, likes of Tom Latham or Matthew Wade, pretty short individuals. 7 for 2 after 2 overs.
I'm gonna Google this.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Ram continues, ball into the offside. Mahesh Ram can't score, and the score remains a 7 for 2. Eagles under some bit of pressure here. Matt, we talk about the wicketkeeper. You look at Christopher Van Tol, one of the taller men you'll see probably in this year's minor league cricket. He's a quality keeper, I'll tell you that. A keeper that keeps with a lot of flair, a lot of style. In fact, he does everything with style. And look at that. Look at that. He collects the ball, and he collects it with a lot of flair. And I like that. And I want to think that the Philadelphians this year has acquired a very good keeper. He's a top quality batter, and I think they've placed their hand on a very good talent in the form of Christopher Van Tol.
Yeah, and we saw some of that. We saw a glimpse of that already with his batting skills.
That one doesn't raise at all, and we've seen 3 good balls there from Bhaskar Yadram. 7 for 2. They've lost Prajapati without scoring. Derek Narain for 2. And you're looking at Apurva Mahesh Ram. He came out at number 4. Talha Mumtaz at number 3. Bhaskar Yadram given the new ball along with Devashwari Prasad, and they've started well here for the Philadelphians. Oh, balled him. One that probably kept a tad low, and Mahesh Ram is gone. Trouble here for the Eagles. They're 3 down for 7.
Yeah, all sorts of problems here. Yadram getting one, cramping Mahesh Ram for room. And it just went straight through. 7 for 3. The Philadelphians are rolling here. And the Eagles do not seem to have any answers.
So Pranav Rao has come to the middle. Comes in at number 5. Trouble here for the New England Eagles, Matt. We're talking wicket keepers. And out comes the wicket keeper for the Eagles, Pranav Rao. And we reflect back on the Philadelphians over the years, Matt. We've seen them use Mario Rampersad and a bit of well, not a bit, a full season of Rajdeep Darbar. Where are these players now?
Yeah, they would have lost both of their keepers this season. Hence the signing of Vantal. Rajdeep Darbar making the move to the Atlanta Fire. Mario Rampersad joining Garanshu Sharma, both of whom would have been with the Philadelphians to the Fort Lauderdale Lions this season.
Yeah, good to see these players involved still in cricket. I think Mario Rampersad will be a good addition to the Lions team. They badly needed a wicketkeeper. And also Rajdeep Darbar, he's good wicketkeeper batsman. But they've acquired the services of Vantal. 3 gone, it's 7 for 3.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
So Prashad will continue. He picked up the wicket in the previous over of Derek Narain. Will come into bowl to Talha Mumtaz, leg side, and goes through to Vantal. Wide is the call, wide is the signal from umpire Brian Keane. The umpires will tell you the wides are no ball. You've got to call them and signal them. So that's one thing. Did you know that? Or you weren't too sure?
Wasn't too sure.
So cramp for room. That's the ball that jacked back from the off stump from the left-hander. You look at Prashad, Matt. We always refer to him as an underrated bowler. But over time, he's really played well. In fact, when you look at his returns last year, got the most wicket for the Philadelphians, 14 wickets, economy rate 4.7. stroked into the offside, can't score. And Prashad has a brother, Devashwari Prashad has a brother that also plays good level cricket, Marvan Prashad. He's an opener. I've seen him play several times, good stroke player. I'm wondering if he's ever played minor league or considered for minor league, Marvan Prashad.
Yeah, he did briefly. Last season he would have been with the Titans. I can't remember if he played, but I think he might have played just a few games. It was only a short spell. I don't think they're twins, but they look very alike, Devashwari and Marvan.
So not timed well from Talha Mumtaz, but they've got to look for runs. Throw comes in back to Vantal, Pranav Rao. The wicketkeeper on the opposite end. We look across minor league, Matt, and here's where I'm gonna pick your brain again. As we see New England Eagles struggling here at 9 for 3, still a long way to go, 127 off 99. Gonna pick your brain, and maybe this will carry it over to the next over. Who are some of the top wicket keepers you've seen in your experience being part of the minor league setup across the country? I think Milante is pretty solid. Anthony Bramble is another good keeper. Jamar Hamilton
for sure was one that came to my mind.
Yeah, we're seeing here Vantal. Got some really good keepers around. We'll try to pick up some more keeper. Here is Prashad, big appeal. Nadal says not an appeal with conviction. And certainly Brian Kane has gotten off here. 9 for 3. Boys have done well so far. The Philadelphians, they return tomorrow morning, by the way, and it's the exact fixture. They'll take on the New England Eagles in their second match of their team's fixture. The fourth over comes to a close. It's 9 for 3, and that's the latest score here at Mercer County Park.
So Varun Manta into the attack. Some more pace options this for the Philadelphians. We've seen 2 overs from Bhaskar Yadram, 2 overs from Devashwari Prashad. Varun Manta being introduced, and some even more artillery that we haven't yet seen from the Philadelphians. Liam Plunkett and Janoy Drysdale. Drysdale would have just been part of that US tour, so may have just been a bit of rest.
Yeah, I was looking forward to see a little bit of Drysdale. We've seen him so many times in New York, Matt, but I'll tell you something. You look at Drysdale, and I know how a couple of international tours can really refine a player like Drysdale. And he's been with the US setup. Well, he's been with the Major League setup to the latter part of that season, and got a few games in, and then of course made it to Amsterdam, in which he played quite a few games all there. So I was itching to see how he has developed from being a local bowler at Westbury and in the Metropolitan League to have become an international player with the US international team, and see how well he has really developed. Lovely strike from Pranav Rao, and that has gone towards the side screen, and that has gone for 6.
Great shot from Pranav Rao. down the ground for 6. Man who'd have spent a bit of time with the Somerset Cavaliers as a keeper for the last 2 years, but never really maybe got to see him as much with the bat. Certainly here with the New England Eagles, he's gotten more of an opportunity coming in at number 5.
Yeah, that's a lovely strike from the young man. Varun Manta. Better ball that comes back. Speaking of wicketkeepers, Katwaru dons the glove at Cavaliers. Yeah, just wanting to see Drysdale. Thought he would play today. He's always been an excellent fast bowler. Pace has never been a problem with Drysdale. It's just his ability to really control the speed and to really bowl more economical at times. But I did see him during the course of the Bangladesh series, in which he was part of the reserves on the U.S. international team, and spoke to him briefly, and he told me that he's worked on a lot of stuff that he was doing wrong or being corrected by Coach Darlington, Stuart Law, and the U.S. national team, and he did say he's really will be a better bowler in 2024. I wonder if he's gonna be in here tomorrow morning. Maybe not, but we've seen a good over here from Varun Manta. In fact, he's gone for 7 off that over, and after 5, the New England Eagles, they're chasing 136. They're 3 down for 17 on the board.
So Abdul Jabbar, by the looks of things, coming into the attack. Another man who has served Philly well over the years. Made the switch from the DMV area, inside edge from Pranav Rao. So Talha comes back onto strike. Talha Mumtaz, a new face. We haven't seen him before. Comes in here for the New England Eagles.
And Matt, we were talking about loss and gains of teams, player moving around. That's typical in franchise cricket. Nothing wrong with that. You see it all over, even the top franchises. Come another year, people move, people get traded, people are sent packing. And it's all part and parcel of franchise cricket. And you look at the squads, and of course yesterday we were talking about movements, today we are talking about movements, and we spoke about losses and gains. Abdul Jabbar, oh, the stump, the bail comes off in a flash. I wonder, hasn't he been stumped?
Well, what has happened here?
Yeah, trying to find out. Maybe he chipped down and he was still in his crease. It's a ball into the offside, beats Jonathan Fu. Couple of runs here on track for Talha Mumtaz. And look at that, they come back for 2 runs. But just to come back talking about losses and gains and people addition to the squad, deduction from the squad, it's opportunities for players to fill those void. You look at Abdul Jabbar, he could can he fill the boots of Raj Nanan as a left-arm spinner who can bat? And so there are opportunities opening up for players who will want to seize those opportunities, because when you look at a player like, for example, Raj Nanan, we know he's such a quality player, but he was always playing in front of someone else. And Abdul Jabbar has a chance now to really seize the opportunity to come in with some good bowling performance and stay in the side, stay in the franchise. And I think when you're strong, when you're such an asset to franchise, you hardly get displaced. They want you. So Talha Mumtaz on strike, Abdul Jabbar, ball chopped into the offside. And that will complete the 6th over. So the power play done and dusted. It's 21 for 3.
So 1 ball left. We'll get a single, so 21 for 3 at the end of 6. So 21 on the board, 6.1 overs. Loopy delivery. Pulled away for a single to Mumtaz. Ashish Vatem, the new bowler.
So slow going here for the New England Eagles. They trail by 113, still 81 balls at their disposal. Cut away into the offside. And Pranav Rao picks up another run, brings Talha Mumtaz onto strike. They're batting at 24 for 3. They've lost Derek Narain, Prajapati, and Mahesh Ram. So Talha Mumtaz bat, not much action, and here we're talking about tall keepers. That's one of the advantage when the ball rears to that height. A man like Christopher Vantel can really pull it down. Into the offside, protection out in the deep, And that will complete over number 7. So very good one here from Ashish Vatem. And 7 gone. They're batting at 25 for 3.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
So 25 for 3. Abdul Jabbar will continue. And you're watching minor league cricket from the Mercer County Park. This is the Eastern Division Atlantic Conference. With the news, the Philadelphian posted 135, built on some solid knock from Christopher Van Tull. We saw a good knock from Jonathan Fu. Ball worked into the offside. Another runs, 25 for 3. Let's look at what the Philadelphians did. We saw a 36 from Jonathan Fu, the top scorer, 31 from Van Tull. And we saw a quick 14 and a quick 18 from Bhaskar Yadram, quick 14 from Arsha Arora. Oh, he's gone. Yes! And so another wicket falls. And this time Pranav Rao cleaned up by, is that Pranav Rao? Yeah, Pranav Rao cleaned up by Abdul Jabbar. And in trouble is the Eagles. They're batting at 26 for 4.
Yeah, great delivery from Abdul Jabbar. Straight through Pranav Rao. And the 4th wicket goes down here for the New England Eagles. The Philadelphians well in control of things. Rao goes for 10. It's 26 for 4.
Okay, we'll talk about the Titans a little bit. New York City Titans, right? How they have evolved from the Empire State Titans. So, New York City Titans, they have their game tomorrow. So 26 for 4. New batter comes to the middle mat. Fans watching the game in the stands, and they're all enjoying what's happening here with the news. Eagles are down by 4 with only 26 on the board, and they still need 110 from the remaining 76 deliveries remaining. So that's the Philadelphian support. And they've always traveled with the crew, and they made sure that they've caught some action. If they stick around overnight, the Philadelphians, they take on the Eagles. This one through the slip area. Prashad gives chase. And a couple of runs to start for the new batsman here. A couple of runs here to Usman Ashraf. It's 28 for 4, Matt.
A long way to go here for the New England Eagles. A huge mountain to climb for Usman Ashraf, Talha Mumtaz, and everybody else still waiting for their turn.
And so the action continues tomorrow with another doubleheader. We talked about the Philadelphians taking on the Eagles in the morning at 9:45. And in the afternoon, the New York's NYC Titans. Oh, gone! What a catch from Ryan Scott! And another wicket falls. It's 28 for 5.
We've talked about keepers a lot, but it's time we talk about the outfielders because Ryan Scott is one of the best of them around. What a superb catch from a superb fielder. Fielding at slip and getting the edge. And Usman Ashraf has to depart. We'll take a look at this. Ryan Scott. Very attacking field for Usman Ashraf. Getting the edge. Flies away, and look at that from Ryan Scott. He's a top fielder. I remember a game in New York. Ryan Scott took about 7 catches in one game. He completely dominated that innings from the field. And he's taken one here today. 28 for 5 as Ashraf goes.
So Nikhil Malapalli seems fine for batting. And who doesn't like some batting, Matt? You could be injured. Can hardly walk, but when it comes to batting, you're ready to put on the pads and come to the middle. They are in trouble. And you know everyone will have to bat. The likes of Rizwan Mazar and company still to come. Barhan Saeed, Samar Tiwari, Noman Iftikhar still waiting for their turn. And the way things are going here, it wouldn't be long. So Nikhil Malapalli. A couple of slips in place. We've seen a superb catch from Ryan Scott, and now he's struggling, and this is the second time he could be a retired man as he hobbles off. And he seems to be in serious trouble, Nikhil Malapalli. So new batter out in the middle, Burhan Saeed, and that is because, Matt, we've seen it for the second time in this match. Nikhil Malapalli unable to bowl, and now he's unable to bat, and so that could be a retired hurt for the time being. He faced one ball. So ball cut away into the offside. And runs here for Talha Mumtaz. He'll pick up a couple of runs. So 2 more runs here for Talha Mumtaz. And that will complete the over as the over come to a close, Matt. In fact, the end at a time in which we thought that they needed some big hits towards the end, and came out with a couple of massive sixes. And giving the ball now to bowl to Talha Mumtaz. Driven into the offside. Fielder will run around. Oh, he's done well to keep the ball in play. That's good work from the fielder. And a couple of more runs here for Talha Mumtaz. He continues to bat well, actually.
Yeah, he's got a fair bit of runs off of this over. We've got the fielder running around. 8 runs from this over, so it's been a positive one from an Eagle standpoint.
Pulled into the onside. What a catch! Straight to the man, but he held on. And in the end, takes an excellent catch. And Talha Mumtaz falls for 18. It's 36 for 6.
Short delivery pulled away from Mumtaz. Straight to the fielder. He was perfectly placed. Easy catch, and Talha Mumtaz was looking good, but he has to depart. 36 for 6 as Ash Arora picks up a wicket.
Yashwant Balaji is the catcher, Matt. Went straight to him, but he held on, and in the end made it look easy. And Balaji has been with this unit for some time.
Yeah, I would have been part of the Philadelphians before.
So a lot of young talent going around, and I made mention in another couple of weeks they'll begin to prove to us how good they are. We've already seen some good talent that we have never seen before, and no one has ever seen because they're new to minor league cricket. Arsh Arora has picked up 1. He's given up 8 in this over. Will come into bowl to Noman Iftikhar. And it might have been a very tough day at the park here for Noman Iftikhar. So the 9th over comes to a close. It's 36 for 6.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Two slips in place.
So Jonathan Fu, the do-it-all captain of the Philadelphians, we saw him with a bat. We mentioned keepers before the Philadelphians. Jonathan Fu did a fair bit of keeping, and I totally forgot about that. In addition to Darbar and Mario, we saw a fair bit of Jonathan Fu, and that's why I said do it all. As we see a misfield by Prashad, doesn't yield in anything.
I think that's I want to think that's the year he itched to play for this. He was itching to play for this Philadelphian team, and they only needed a wicketkeeper. And when you're dying to play for a unit, Matt, and you go to the practice session and say, well, you know what, we're filled, but the only role we have now is a keeper. I can keep. I can keep. You just want to get in. How many times haven't that happened? When you play at the local level, you play street cricket. I remember when I was growing up, I played two sports pretty well. In fact, I played quite a few. I played golf, I played soccer, and I played cricket. And in my village football club, that's soccer, of course, Nobody wanted to be a goalkeeper. This one is edged away past Vantal. Buys the signal from umpire Brian Kane. And the only way for me to play in the club was to be the goalkeeper. No one wanted to be a goalkeeper, and that's how I made the side. And so sometimes you go to clubs, whatever they want, just do it. And you spoke of Jonathan Fu. I think that's the earlier year of him finding his footing in minor league cricket, but now he can command respect, he can command a place in the side, and look, he's bowling off spin now.
Jonathan Fu may have been the best decision to get a makeshift keeper the Philadelphians will ever hope of making. I think they'll be quite happy they took that punt and allowed him to come into the side. He hasn't looked back since.
Yeah, and I talked about how I'm happy to see the Philadelphians staying with have acquired Christopher Vantal. 10 gone, 39 for 6 at the end of 10. So Balaji has been given the ball. We saw Matt an excellent catch from the young man, but he's been given the ball and he comes in here at 39 for 6. No pressure on the bowler at all. And a chance for the off spinner to really get some overs in.
Yeah, I'm sure we might see a few of these. Yeah, Ashwan Balaji. Never really seen him bowl before. So certainly perhaps getting him the exposure.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of young players in the matches so far. We saw Chetapalian, we saw Sid Kappa. The entire Manhattan Yorkers is a young team, and now we're getting a chance to see Ashwan Balaji and a couple of the other younger players. It's good to see that they're playing. Big shot from Noman Iftikhar. He's not going to stick around too long. And that has gone in the tents of the Philadelphians.
Well, how about that for a warning shot from Noman Iftikhar, sending one right into the opposition tent. A massive hit from Noman Iftikhar, taking on Balaji.
So 46 for 6. They still trail. Oh, that's a massive hit again from Noman Iftikhar. And that has brought up the 50. 2 massive sixes.
Back to back from Noman Iftikhar. Similar shot, just a slightly different direction. Right in the slot and hammered away from Iftikhar.
And Matt, what is it about bowlers and long levers and can really hit the ball out of the park when given the opportunity? Into the offside, 13 off, 14 off this over from young Balaji. The 11th gone is 53 for 6. Yeah, that's the crew that came here Yeah, let's go Yashwan Balaji. Yeah, earlier on, man, they had a lemonade stand. And so that's very good business sense. These are the young businessmen and women of tomorrow. And we did went by and bought a couple of cups of lemonade and tell them to keep the change. So we have supported this business venture, and we wish them all the luck and all the best in the future.
Yeah, and they're certainly wishing the best for Yashwan.
Well, that's very good. And that's the Philadelphian squad and Philadelphian crew. They travel in groups, and they travel in multitude at times. And they brought their tent, their orange tent. Not only they showed up with a tent, they made sure that the tent very close to their kit. And so, welcome to the park from the Philadelphians. They're here to support the Philadelphians, and we'll be quite happy with the way things have gone in this match.
Yeah, certainly well in control of things here. Jabbar is back. He started off this over quite well.
So they need 83 from 51. Always was going to be a tough one here. 136. Oh, balled him. So Abdul Jabbar, he helps himself with his third wicket. 3 for 7. Impressive stuff from Abdul Jabbar. And this time Noman Iftikhar, the big hitter, goes. Is 53 for 7.
Yeah, looking to give himself some room. Cleans him up. Abdul Jabbar has bowled very well. Wicket to wicket stuff. And another wicket, a big celebration as well from Abdul Jabbar. 83 required from 50. Iftikhar departs. It's 53 for 7.
Mazar. So Rizwan Mazar comes to the middle. And a quality delivery here. Abdul Jabbar once more. He's asking Brian Keane. He's telling Brian Keane, I've got 3 for 7, Brian. If you give me one more, it'll be 4 for 7, Brian. Brian said, not at all. Quality delivery, Rizwan Mazar. It's a good striker of the ball, Matt. But he finds himself in a situation here that they probably never expected. So 12 gone is 53 for 7.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
So welcome back, 53 for 7. And we apologize for the pause, as this has been caused by trying to catch up with this scoring apparatus. And now we are all ready. Everything ready, 53 for 7. Burhan Saeed, he is on 3. Bhaskar Yadram has been given another over. And Matt, we made mention these two teams will clash again in the morning, as New England Eagles will be hoping for a better morning as they take on the Philadelphians. And the Philadelphians, playing in the morning. You play each other twice, and so a chance for the Philadelphians to get maybe a couple of wins, but we'll wait and see. Bhaskar Yadram, and a flash outside the off stump here from Burhan Saeed, and another wicket goes down. Essentially, Matt, they're batting at 53 for 8, but with Malapalli cannot bat. Essentially, this is the last one, Samar Tiwari coming.
3 for 5 now belonging to Bhaskar Yadram. Another one, Burhan Saeed flashing at 1. May have even been a wide had he left it. Through it goes to Van Tol. So 83 required from 47. Samart walks to the middle. 53 for 8, but probably put an asterisk next to that with the injury concern of Malapalli. Doesn't look as if he's in any sort of fitness to come back out.
Hey, had he been playing in what, maybe 2021 around that area, he could have been afforded a runner, but not anymore. It's been changed. And Bhaskar Yadram, you made mention 3 for 5, Matt. We saw another 3-wicket haul from Abdul Jabbar. He picked up 3 for 7. And the New England Eagles, they've been blown away by a big performance from the Philadelphians. They're off to a very good start to their campaign in 2024.
So Samar Tiwari, Rizwan Mazar, the other end.
And I always thought that Rizwan Mazar is their top batter, and he comes in at 10. He's only faced a couple of balls. What was he waiting for?
Yeah, it's a very in the air. This could be it. Van Tol takes the catch. So Samart has to go.
That could be game. I want to think.
We'll wait and see. Rizwan Mazar was aggressively motioning for Malapalli to get out here. Rizwan Mazar was aggressively telling him to come on.
He doesn't care if Malapalli can't walk. He wants a knock.
It looks like as if they're telling them that's it. Malapalli does not look like he's gonna be coming out, as much to the chagrin of Rizwan Mazar, who still does not seem very happy about it. But in the end, it's a somewhat premature ending for the New England Eagles, with 9 dismissed and Malapalli retired hurt. So Bhaskar Yadram 4 for 5 from 2.5 overs in the end. And the New England Eagles have been restricted to 53 by the Philadelphians, who win by 82 runs in the end.
Yeah, what an impressive start to their 2024 campaign. The Philadelphians, along with New Jersey Stallions, have won here, one winning in the morning and one in the afternoon. And so that will conclude what has happened here. Second day of competitions at the minor league level. And so there we go. New England Eagles, not much to talk about. We've seen an 18 from Talha Mumtaz. But other than that, a disappointing performance from them. 53 for 9 with Malapalli unable to bat. So their innings quickly came to a close. Look at the bowling. Some impressive ones. 4 for 5 from Bhaskar Yadram, his debut performance for the Philadelphians. And 3 for 9 from Abdul Jabbar. So that's the situation here. New England Eagles, they lose by 82 runs. And a quick summary of the match. Earlier on, Jonathan Fu smashed 36. Christopher Van Tol, 25. Bhaskar Yadram chipped in with 18 towards the end. And also Arsh Arora got among the runs. 2 for 15, 2 for 19 from Iftikhar and Ashraf. But in the end, New England Eagles, they needed a lot of runs. And in the end, they lose by some 80-plus runs. So, folks, that's all from Mercy County Park. We've had 3 games here on this facility. But join us back tomorrow morning at 9:45 when the Philadelphians will come up against New England Eagles. And in the afternoon, the NYC Titans will take on the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. So a couple of big games on tomorrow, Labor Day weekend, and I hope you'll join us tomorrow morning. Until then, on behalf of the production team, Umair and company, we want to wish you good afternoon from Mercer County Park, and we'll see you again tomorrow morning.
Cavaliers. Gone, so a soft dismissal.
Narain into the offside, and he started well here for the Philadelphians. Oh, balled him. One that probably kept a developed. Lovely strike from Pranav Rao, and that has gone towards the side screen. And the 40 from Arsha Arora. Oh, he's gone. Yes, and so another wicket falls, and this time NYC Titans. Oh, gone! What a catch from Ryan Scott! So ball cut away into the offside. And runs here for Talha Mumtaz. He'll pick up a cup. Pulled into the onside. What a catch! Straight to the man, but he held on. They're playing. Big shot from Noman Iftikhar. He's not going to stick around too long. And that is ill. Oh, that's a massive hit again from Noman Iftikhar. And that has brought up the 50. 2 massive sixes. It was going to be a tough one here. 136. Oh, balled him. So maybe a couple of wins, but we'll wait and see. Bhaskar Yadram. And a flash outside the off stump here from Bar.
In the air, this could be it. Van Tol takes the catch.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
You're watching the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies.